Kumarswami College, Ausa, welcomes all the participants and dignitaries here on the virtual platform for the national webinar on the topic Overcoming Superwoman Syndrome. The college, Shri Kumarswami College, Ausa, is affiliated to SRTM University, Nanded. The college has started a series of national webinars which started on the occasion of the International Women's Day. The theme of the national webinar is Empowerment of Women. The webinar series is going on successfully. It is because of the chief organizer and chairperson of this webinar series, Honorable Principal Dr. M. Ambedkar sir. So I welcome him heartily on this virtual dais as the presiding authority of today's national webinar. I also welcome today's honorable dignitary, Aditi Singhal ma'am, who is the chief guest and keynote speaker for today's national webinar. As I have noted before, the topic of the webinar is Superwoman Overcoming Superwoman Syndrome. I heartily welcome you, ma'am, on behalf of the organizing committee of the webinar series. I also welcome the whole of organizing committee of this webinar series. And before the beginning of the actual speech by the keynote speaker, I invite Dole ma'am for the introduction of today's chief guest and keynote speaker. Please ma'am, welcome.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, everyone. You are welcome to this webinar series organized by Shri Kumarswami College, Ausa. So firstly, I am very thankful to respected Principal Dr. Bedkar MM for giving me this opportunity to introduce a resource person on this virtual platform. I am also thankful to respected Karad sir and IQSC coordinator Dr. Kale sir and all the respected participants. Those are joining this webinar series. So it's my pleasure. I am here to introduce today's keynote speaker, Honorable Aditi Singhal ma'am, who is Assistant Professor from Graphic Era Hill University, Dehradun. Title of speech is Overcoming Superwoman Syndrome. Mrs. Aditi Singhal ma'am is a versatile professional with 16 years of experience in academia and industry. She has a soft skill trainer, life coach, public speaking skill, and WICCI council member. She worked with several renowned MNCs, universities, colleges, and consultancies like ICICI, Reliance, Usha, Franklin, RIMC, Planet Spark, etc. in Mumbai, Gurugram, and Dehradun. Currently, she is working as an assistant professor with Graphic Era Hill University. She is honored with iconic woman creating a better world for all, Shiksha Gaurav Samman, Women of Excellence in Training and Coaching Award, and Akhil Bharatiya Women Pride Award. She has mentored thousands of students in India, Europe, UK, and Middle East countries. She achieved certifications like IIM, IIT, Network, from Iron Lady, from Swayam, and HBTI, etc. So with this introduction, I would like to request today's keynote speaker, Honorable Aditi Singhal ma'am, please start your speech. Thank you. Welcome, ma'am.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank Dr. Bedkar, sir, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you so much, Anita Dhole ma'am, for such a wonderful introduction. And thank you to all the participants who are present here and joining. So we are remembering the days where we had that series continuously last year. So it's wonderful to have you. I just want to have an audio check. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay, I'll just present my PPT. Just give me a minute. So my PPT is visible, ma'am?
It's visible, ma'am. Yes.
Okay, thank you. घर घर की जान है औरत, बेटी माँ बहन पत्नी बनकर, घर घर की शान है औरत, ना समझो इसको तुम कमजोर कभी, ये है रिश्तों की डोर, मर्यादा और सम्मान है औरत. So we as women are doing various roles as a daughter, as a wife, grandmother, mother, sister, friend, and that is how we are in this world. So today, the topic of my communication, my conversation today is overcoming superwoman syndrome. So today's fast-paced women can find themselves caught up in what has been called the superwoman syndrome. So what is actually superwoman? And what is this syndrome all about? Superwoman is usually used to refer to a woman who considers herself idle in all the situations and she tries to do all the things successfully. Perfectionism is what she looks at, and at the same time she also tries to multitask. That is what is a superwoman. So let's talk of this syndrome. Before proceeding further, let's understand where this syndrome started. It coined in 1984 when a woman actually neglected herself in seeking the do-it-all syndrome, and she thinks that she can do it everything and stretching herself. That is when the syndrome started. Now proceeding further, in the British era, from the Vedic to the British ages, we always had a status of women that they were ignored in the men-dominated society, and there were social evils like sati pratha, dowry system, domestic violence, rape, prostitution, female feticide, early child marriage, and even child labor. And these had been prevalent since ages in the name of traditions, in the name of religion. That is what this evil talks about. And the women have been always taken into that consideration. The men out here, gentlemen out here have joined us. So it's not a woman-centric PPT today that I am presenting. It's also for the men also. At times they also feel that they are ignored, exploited, and they also feel the burden of taking care of the whole family and working very hard because they have to earn the living. So it's a disparity between the society, between men and women. And since ages that has been going on. Now, what are the expectations from a woman? That is what we will talk about. So as per a UN statistics, if the domestic work that the women is doing, if we assign actually a monetary value, because that work is done for free, but if we actually assign a monetary value, so UN says that it will constitute to 10 to 39% of our GDP. Isn't it a startling statistics? And only 58% of women actually they have a bank account. And it is again saddening to say that only 5% of the women are the CEOs in the Fortune 500 companies. So these statistics really talks about something which is there. So we are supposed to juggle between our professional and personal lives and bear the burden of childbearing, the family that is there, and multitask and try to be a superwoman. That is the expectations. Now, expectations at time is also because of the stereotype that is created by the media, the hype, the slim body or zero figure syndrome. At times we are sent on a guilt trip if in case we ignore our children. At times we are also mocked by the society or the relatives. And still in rural area, there are women who are not able to share the same table as their counterparts. So when everyone eats, this burnt rice reminds me of that, that when everyone eats the food, whatever is left, whatever is there at the end, after their children, their family members eat, that is what they go through, that is what they eat. So that is the expectation which they themselves have from themselves, and even others also have from themselves. So that is what is there. So it includes the characteristics or the obligation at times to suppress our emotions. We at times don't showcase our emotions. Maybe it is sadness, maybe it is anger. And even we are supposed to be very strong, manifest strength with lot of patience and tolerance that is expected, and resistance to being vulnerable. We have to portray that we are strong and we have been determined to succeed. So that is what are the expectations. Now let's understand what are the various symptoms or the consequences when we try to be a superwoman, when we try to do it all. We try to be very organized in whatever our home is, the keeping of our homes, the taking care of our children, our family members. That is what is we are expecting. So what are the symptoms and consequences of all this? So here again I would like to talk about a research which says that 72% of women suffer from insomnia. They are either having inability to sleep or they are sleeping excessively. Also, an average 2.6 hours are spent only in the work that they do for their family. And 16%, only 16% women actually participate in any sports, any exercise, or any recreation. This is again very saddening and a startling statistics that is there. So there are other symptoms that are there. At times they feel bouts of irritability because of so much burden. They get irritated, they start talking in a wrong manner with other people, and they might use some words which might be offending for others. Also, there are some neurological issues, which is some memory issues or muscle tension that is there. Some stress, anxiety can also be there. And at times the very prevalent diseases specifically in the women category, and this again I would like to say here that it is not only for women out here. These symptoms and these consequences are equally applicable for the gentlemen out here, that depression, diabetes, heart attack and BP also is being very, because these are kind of lifestyle diseases and these are very much prevalent nowadays because of the stress that is there, the anxiety that is there. People actually are very much tensed, anxious, and they start overthinking for small things also. We feel pain and aches are there. Maybe in the headache is there, backache, lower backache is there. Even some eating disorders and hair loss is also a problem. We are not able to concentrate on one thing, and not the attention span also is decreasing. So this is again very much upsetting. And all this leads to various diseases. So we have to again talk about this, that how important is this to have a lifestyle that is avoiding these symptoms or the consequences that we have to avoid. Now talking about this superwoman. What is this superwoman? Anybody would like to talk about, will like to unmute themselves and will like to talk about the syndrome? What is this superwoman syndrome? Can anyone tell me? And why do women actually try to be superwomen? Let's introspect that also. Anyone? Ma'am, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, yes.
Okay. So shall I proceed further?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. So Superwoman is basically a fictional character, and it was never meant to be a role model. We actually think that there is practically there is a Superwoman who is existing. But there is no Superwoman existing. It's just a fictional character in movies, in novels probably, in literature. But it's actually not meant to be a role model. So that is what this talks about. So this talks about that we are supposed to take care of the roles and responsibilities that lead to happiness and balance. And this is said by Dr. Jennifer. She is a renowned doctor, and she says that you have to not find happiness by going into stress, by going into excessive work and getting fatigued. That will not lead to happiness. That will not lead to satisfaction in taking care of all the roles and responsibilities. But that will actually lead to a negative scenario. So that is what this Superwoman scenario talks about. Now let's understand what is the way ahead. What is the way ahead to get over this Superwoman syndrome in terms of the society, in terms of our own being. So there is a wonderful quote which says, the empowered woman is powerful beyond measure and beyond, and it's beautiful beyond description. So basically beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. So you are yourself beautiful in your own eyes, and the power that is there is that is empowered. So here, let's understand what are the components of empowerment here. So sense of self-worth, right to have and to determine choices, right to have access to equal opportunities and resources as compared to every section of the society, right to have power to control their own lives. They can take their own decisions and nobody is influencing those decisions, and how they can influence the direction of the society. Because it is said that if you train or if you teach one man, you are just teaching one individual. But if you teach one woman, you are actually teaching the whole generation. Because this is how the women are built by God. This is how they have their own sense of self-worth. So these are the 5 components of empowerment which we talk of. But why do we actually need to empower women? We need to actually ask these questions to ourselves, that why do we need to empower women? What is the need? Are they actually the weaker sex? Is the empowerment actually required? Is it essential? Let's understand this further. So let's see now, these are the women of our country who are making us proud into different fields. They are now becoming engineers, doctors, lawyers, professors, IAS officers, even pilots. They are flying, IPS officers. They are into the frontline warriors also, the face of the modern society in terms of business, technology, service, media, defense, even into the artistic field as a singer, as an artist, as a musician, as a dancer, even into the field of politics. So they are basically taking care of the pestle environment of our country. That is the political fields, the economical fields, the social sectors, the environmental sectors, technological sectors, and even the legal sectors of our country. So they are taking care of the whole pestle environment. So now let's talk about a word that is very prevalent, that is feminism. So what is actually feminism? It's not about making women stronger. They are actually strong. It's about realizing the value that how the society perceives the women. That they are supposed to be equal. They are equally important and equal in terms of every facet of the society. Now let's understand what are the various solutions that are available. We have understood the superwoman syndrome, why it is existence, how it has evolved through the years, and now how the empowered women of our country are taking the lead in various roles. Now let's understand the solutions further to overcome this superwoman syndrome. So we talk about somebody will come and help us. No government will come. No one will come and help us. We have to help ourselves. We have come into this society, into this earth alone, and we will go alone. And if we don't have something, how are we supposed or expected to give it to anyone else? So we should have something to give it to someone else. So what is important? The first and the foremost solution of overcoming this syndrome is self-love. I would urge all the men out here and all the women out here to just hug yourself and just say to yourself, I am the best. I am the best. I am the best. Just love yourself. That is most important, self-love. The second best solution would be taking care of your mental health. Everyone out here, you talk about a small child who is in class 6th is also stressed. You talk about the youth of our country, they are also stressed. You talk about the older generation, they are also stressed. You talk about men or women working into professional fields and various fields, everyone is stressed out here. Nobody is taking care of their mental health. So mental health is also very, very important. It plays a major role in determining your overall physical and emotional health as well. So taking care of your mental health is important. Go for some laughter therapies. When you have a lot of adrenaline rush, there is a dopamine hormone that starts inculcating in your body. You feel relaxed. So daily go for a laughter therapy. Then next step is meditation. Sit with yourself, go for introspection and discuss your day with yourself. Discuss your life with yourself. What is your ikigai? Your reason for being? Why you are sent on this earth? What is that you want to achieve? You want to give to yourself, to your family, to your society, and to the whole world as a whole. Here you can talk about the Maslow's need hierarchy theory, which is there, the topmost pyramid, that is self-actualization. Sit and discuss and see how you reach that self-actualization, the need hierarchy theory. Next solution is eating the right kind of balanced diet, which has the right kind of blend of proteins, carbohydrates, and not the junk food, but right kind of a balanced diet with right kind of vitamins, minerals to keep yourself healthy. That is again how you will overcome that superwoman syndrome. And not only the superwoman syndrome, at times even the superman syndrome also. It applies equally to men as well. Now going further, health is one thing which is neglected. Now we are talking of physical health. The yoga, meditation, physical aerobics, maybe going to the gym, but physical workout is very important. Proceeding further, let's understand the more solutions that are there. Now, communication skills is extremely important in today's 21st century. Probably you might know a lot of technical knowledge, but how will you showcase that knowledge? For that, you will need good communication skills. Language is secondary. You might be speaking in Hindi, you might be speaking in English or any other regional language. Language is secondary, but communicating is what is important. जो आप बोल रहे हैं वो सही तरीके से दूसरा भी उसी सेंस में समझ रहा है. Your public speaking skills, your confidence, right kind of education, then your family support is also very important. And nowadays, in the 21st century, more so after COVID, the education is combined with technology. So the ICT, information and communication technology, that can also be a solution. And having that zeal that yes, I can do it. I have to empower myself with a lot of confidence. That is required. Proceeding further, we have to go for grooming also. If you wear good clothes, all the men and gentlemen and the women out here, the elegant ladies, if you are very much good looking, you have worn a good sari or you have worn a good business suit and you have a proper makeup with the right kind of accessories, the purse, the footwear, the hanky, the belt, you will feel positive about yourself, isn't it? With the right kind of body language, your eye contact, facial expressions, hand gestures, all this also plays a major role. So there's a theory here, Dr. Mahavidyalaya theory, which talks and says that only 7% is the communication which we do with our words. Rest 38% and 55% is through our non-verbal communication, the tone, the voice, the pitch. If I speak very, very fast, you will not be able to understand what I am saying. If I speak slowly, you will sleep. So the kind of speed, the tone, whether it is sarcastic, it will show your emotions. All this is given by Dr. Mahavidyalaya, which is a doctor from US. And this theory talks about all this. So your body language, your grooming also plays a major role. Then financial independence, overcoming that syndrome, Superman or Superwoman syndrome, you have to be financially literate. Your financial literacy along with combined combined with your digital literacy, how well versed you are with the digital tools, because this 21st century and nowadays the Gen Z or the millennials, they are going towards this generation, the digital apps. So how well versed you are. Driving a vehicle. Again, a research says that very minimum percentage of women actually can drive a two-wheeler or four-wheeler. In the rural areas, more so. So learning to drive a vehicle is also very important. And next solution that I propose is we actually are not supposed to protect our daughters. We have always been focusing कि बेटियों को बचाओ, बेटियों का ध्यान रखो, बेटियों का ध्यान रखो. लेकिन why not educate our sons? Why not educate our sons to be respecting women? कि बेटियों का ध्यान रखने की जरूरत ना पड़े. Our sons are capable enough to take care and not do anything which actually makes the women out here insecure. So it is a big responsibility on we as parents to take care of the right kind of born and brought up ways or the right kind of parvarish jo hame deni hai for our sons and daughters have to be in the right direction. That is what is important here. Now let's understand there are some other ways how you can overcome this superwoman syndrome. You can say the art of saying no. At times, we are not able to say no because हमें लगता है इसको बुरा ना लग जाए, उसको बुरा ना लग जाए, ये ना हो जाए. We are not able to say no. But using the right kind of style, that is the assertive style of communication, not being passive, not being aggressive, but being a balance, that is assertive communication when you use, you can have the power of saying no when you are overburdened, when you feel that you are not able to manage everything. Always asking for help or delegating your responsibilities is not a big deal. We at times not even ask for help. So that is not correct. Then time management is very important. Managing your time well. Consciously and consistently, you have to take at least 1 hour of that day only for yourself, wherein you are investing time in your own well-being, taking care of yourself. This applies equally to the men and women out here. Then letting go of perfection. There is a perfectionist syndrome that everything, OCD disorder, that everything has to be perfect. It's okay if some toys are lying here and there. It's okay if the almirah is not kept properly. The clothes are messy. Once in a while, just let it be. Enjoy your weekend, Sunday and Saturday, sleep your heart out and just go and enjoy life. At times, it's okay if the food is burnt, if your maid is not there, if everything is not perfect as per the demands. इसको नमक कम चाहिए, इसको आज ये खाना है, उसको यहाँ ये खाना है. It's okay if it is not there at once in a while. Accept yourself as you are. At times, we start comparing and finding flaws. ये ऐसा क्यों नहीं है, वो वैसा क्यों नहीं है. It's okay. Accept as it is. If you accept, then only the habit of cribbing will go, because we start cribbing and nagging, and that creates a lot of negative environment. So relax, no stress. Develop a support system. A support system is not always the person who is giving you solutions. A support system can always be a person who is just lending his or her ears to you. बहुत बार अपने दिल की बात बोल के भी आपको एक satisfaction मिलता है. Not always you are getting a solution. Setting smart goals. Now, what is smart goal? If I say I want to purchase a car, is it a smart goal? No, it is not. But if I say, क्योंकि कार तो 1 लाख की नैनो भी होती है, कार तो 13 लाख की BMW और बड़ी-बड़ी गाड़ियां भी होती है. So setting smart goals. But if I say I want to purchase i20 car of red color, which is a diesel car, by 2025 from 5 lakhs of loan and 10 lakhs of my own savings, then it is a goal. Why? Because it is specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timed. I know what I have to purchase. I have done my proper research of the model, the color of the car, how I will invest my money, what is the loan amount. Everything is researched with the right kind of timelines, that 2025. So that is a smart goal setting. The right kind of goals is also important, and acknowledging your emotions. At times we women go through mood swings, maybe because of PCOD, maybe because of the that time period of the month, or maybe because of childbirth and post childbirth. There can be different hormonal issues also, so we at times go through mood swings. We can just acknowledge our emotions. Yes, we are feeling irritated, yes, we are feeling upset. And when you cry, it's not, remember, believe you me, it's not a sign of weakness. When you cry, it's actually a sign of strength. It shows that you are crying and you are more powerful, and after that you become more stronger. It's a sign of strength. Now you have to decide whether you want to fight, flight, or freeze. Not always fighting is best. At times the best reaction is no reaction at all. So it's not always necessary to give a reaction. At times flight is important. Flights, when you are not going into that ugly fight, it doesn't show that you are weak. It shows that you want your peace of mind. Or at times when you freeze, that also is important. When you freeze and don't take any decision, you just introspect and see the pros and cons, whether you have to fight, flight, or what is supposed to be done. So freezing at times is also required. Last but not the least is gratitude that is required. Daily thank God, thank to God that thank God we have got this physical body which is intact. There are people who don't have eyes, who don't have limbs. Thank God we are mentally stable. There are people who are differently abled. Thank God we are able to earn our living in a very respectful manner. There are people who are into crime, who are into different wrongdoings. So thank God daily that our loved ones are there with us, physically, mentally, emotionally, and in various ways. Thank God that we have the 3 meals a day with right kind of clothes, a house. There are people who are below poverty line. They don't have food, clothes to take care of them, a shelter. So we are really blessed. Before sleeping daily, thank God that we are blessed with all these things. The gratitude will take away the art of cribbing that we have at times. So that is what is there. And now I would like to highlight this various empowerment policies which are under the Honorable Narendra Modi regime. Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao is very prevalent. Then Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana, Mahila Shakti Yojana, Mahila E-Heart, Maitri Vandana Yojana, and the Muslim women. Then Triple Talaq has recently come. Then Agniveer policies, the maternity benefits. So there are different policies that are there. You can in-depth study about them, and even the Sukanya Yojana, that is their account opening for women out here. And even there are various scholarship schemes for one child. And if that child is also a daughter, there are various wonderful scholarship schemes also for the rural women out here and for all other women. So it's not always that you can take the benefit of it. At times, empowering others, informing others, sharing your knowledge with the people who actually require it. That is also a big empowerment. That is how also we are helping the society. Now, last but not the least, I would just like to sum up with a small poem. Whatever you give a woman, she will make it greater. If you give her your love, she will give you her life. If you give her a house, she will give you a home. If you give her groceries, she'll give you a meal. If you give her a smile, she'll give you her heart. She multiplies what is actually given to her. So cheers to all the beautiful ladies out here and all the wonderful men out here who always support their better half, maybe in form of sister, mother. So it's a major role which the men also are playing in taking care of their wives, in taking care of their loved ones, or the women out here. So cheers to everyone, and thank you everyone for being such a wonderful audience, being such patient audience and listening to what was being said to all of you. Thank you all. Now we can open for question answers.
Madam, it is a very nice speech about the women fraternities has been delivered today for us. Actually, this is the word for women years. W20. Now just started the G20. This is the W20 has been declared by the Union of World, UN. Right?
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Very nice. Yes, thank you very much.
Aditi madam, very good evening. This is Patiyuddin Ahmed from Hyderabad. It was very wonderful because I joined very lately because I was rushing from my university. I was because I was missed a lot. But anyhow, the concluding your some few remarks, I could listen very nicely. The way you said that we should be thankful for every thing which we are having with us. If that is there, really, life will be definitely really wonderful and a very joyful life. Instead of always crying for, see, what we have, we should be thankful. What we don't have, we need not worry. That's the only thing what I practice, and that really gives you a lot of really joy of your life. Why, if you don't have anything, and if you're just things which are not in your hand, why should you worry about that? What we have, you should enjoy. And why one more thing you said that yes, you need to derive pleasure from making others happy. That's another good point you have said. I must congratulate you for the wonderful message you have propagated, and thank you on the event of this women empowerment and also the International Women Day. Thank you so much, madam, for your wonderful presentation.
Thank you, Dr. Ahmed. Thanks a lot, Dr. Vilas. Anybody?
Madam, actually, I have the question. I would like to ask Marathi. Can you understand Marathi?
No, sorry, sir. I have been in Bombay for 3 years, but I didn't
Okay,
understand.
no problem. So many times, particularly from the social sciences, it is raised the one question. So always criticizes to the men's fraternity. So women are supposed to facing the several problems. They are supposed to the helpless, and they want to equal rights in comparison to the men's. But so many times I felt that several big women, those are working for such type of obtain the rights for the women's society. They are supposed to expressing the negative thoughts so many times, because woman is the part and parcel. मैं अगर हिंदी में बोलूं तो वो तो प्रकृति का रूप है. Women is the form of the earth. So she is always big. So ये आदमी तो एक तत्व है मैडम. पुरुष एक तत्व है, लेकिन स्त्री प्रकृति है. मैं तो बोल रहा हूँ स्त्री ऊपर है. देखने का क्वेश्चन किया जाता है, स्त्री पहले क्या पुरुष पहले? अरे बाबा, ओनली वुमेन, प्रकृति इज द फर्स्ट, मैन इज द जस्ट तत्व, है ना, शिव तत्व. बहुत आगे जाने के बाद उन्होंने इक्वल राइट आदमी को नहीं दिया. मैन को अर्धांगिनी, और वो जो नटेश्वर, अर्ध नटेश्वर महादेव को वो पार्वती ने आधा मतलब राइट दे दिया. एक्चुअली वुमेन इज द होल, द जनरेशन ऑफ द तत्व, एंड पुरुष इज द तत्व.
Right, sir. I would like to give your answer.
Yes.
So, हमेशा से जैसे आप बोल रहे हैं कि बोला जाता है, एक्चुअली क्या होता है, घुन के साथ वो हम बोलते हैं ना, गेहूं के साथ घुन भी पिस जाता है. So, there are nobody is equal and nobody has the same kind of thought process. So there can be different kind of thought process for men, different kind for women. So हर इंसान सबके साथ अच्छा भी नहीं हो सकता और बुरा भी नहीं हो सकता. तो कुछ लोगों की वजह से वो एक स्टीरियोटाइप मीडिया ने या हाइप क्रिएट हो गया है कि वुमेन तो अबला है, बिचारी है, और उसके साथ सब हो रहा है और बुरा कर रहा है.
This is the one type of narrative attitude spread among the people. You are inferior. Never. You are never inferior. You are always the superior. The men are the inferior. While you are the superior, why you are claim the right, equal right in the society, और you are ऊपर थे और ऊपर ही रहेंगे.
Right, sir. The childbirth that is there. So उसमें the pain होता है 57 DEL. That is 20 bones cracking at the same time. So that is a pain which is unbearable.
और सोशल प्रॉब्लम मेरे दिन में है तो बहुत बार ऐसा होता है कि मेन पैटर्निटी कम अंडर द क्या बोलते डोमिनेंट ऑफ वुमेन ऑलवेज डरता है आदमी और हर बार किधर भी गया तो भी उसको एक्सप्लेनेशन देना पड़ता है कि ये है इधर है उधर और लोग बोलते अभी अंडर प्रेशर मेन है नॉट वुमेन
Sir, आपने
बहुत सही बात की आपने.
in some of the slides that is sharing the pain. In some of the slides, that's why when I said the stress, anxiety, balki it's at times it is for the men also that they are supposed to work. Nobody asks a woman that you have to go and work and take care of the children, feed the children. But from the men, छोटी उम्र से 18-20 साल से कि तुम्हें जाके नौकरी करनी है, पैसा कमाना है फैमिली के लिए. So that is there.
और मैं बैठकर सबको भी बताना चाहता हूँ माय सब्जेक्ट वाज व्हाट इज द कॉजेस ऑफ फार्मर सुसाइड पीएचडी का सब्जेक्ट था और मैंने बहुत पूरा महाराष्ट्र में 6 डिस्ट्रिक्ट में जाकर वो स्टडी किया व्हाई द पीपल आर कमिटिंग द सुसाइड ये ज्यादा आदमी लोग हैं 90% लोगों ने आत्महत्या किया है सो वुमेन पैटर्निटी का जो टॉलरेंस है बहुत बड़ा है अगर वो समझ जाएंगे मेंस को अगर समझ जाएंगे व्हाट इज द कॉजेस ऑफ सपोज फार्मर सुसाइड और अदर सुसाइड अगर वो वुमेन ने अगर डिसाइड किया तो मैं तो बोल रहा हूँ एक भी सुसाइड नहीं होगी.
Absolutely, sir. Agreed. Totally agreed, sir.
सर आदित्य मैंने बहुत अच्छा पॉइंट कहा था मैडम ने कि जिस तरह से जो लेबर पेन है खाली हमें पिन का थोड़ा पिन चुप जाता है तो मर्द आदमी बर्दाश्त नहीं कर सकता है.
Absolutely.
ग्रेटनेस आई मस्ट सैल्यूट द ऑल लेडीज इंक्लूडिंग आई हैव माय मदर आई हैव माय वाइफ आई हैव माय सिस्टर यस they are great because of this amount of ladies today what men are succeeding really because of the amount of dareness the amount of courage they possess you just cannot find anybody's.
And actually, we are lucky that God has chosen us to bring a new life into this world.
Exactly.
Bringing a new life into this world, it's really a
कोट करने का है ये हम लोगों ने भी स्वामित्व भाव छोड़ देना चाहिए. हम नौरा है हम हस्बैंड है मैं फलाना हूँ मैं बिस्ताना हूँ मालिक हूँ ये सब जो ये जो है ना भास जो बोलते हैं ना रूमो क्या भास मराठी में भास बोलते हैं ये जो वो छोड़ देना चाहिए. स्वामित्व भाव जब छोड़ेंगे तो ये मेरा है वो मेरी है ऐसा ये छोड़ ये जस्ट इक्वल इन फ्रंट ऑफ द लॉ equal in front of supposed to the God laws.
अंडरस्टैंडिंग नहीं तो सब कोई कॉन्फ्लिक्ट नहीं होता सवाई मुश्किल जहाँ पर कॉन्फ्लिक्ट होता है वो
hypothetical है ना this is the hypothesis. सबने अच्छा रहना चाहिए हम मैनेजमेंट साइंस के हैं we are not supposed to believe on the hypothecation.
yes
We want to actual the result. We are the result oriented.
yes exactly.
नहीं जमाता है तो चल बाजू में हट जाओ.
Any other questions? Anybody would like to ask more questions?
बहुत बढ़िया सब्जेक्ट है आज का मैं तो बोल रहा हूँ और कंटिन्यू करो एक कल भी ये सब्जेक्ट
यही सब्जेक्ट
सर व्हाट्स दिस प्रोग्राम.
Okay, sir. When I was making this PPT, I was thinking कि मैं बात तो कर रही हूँ Superwoman syndrome पे, and जब ये men join होंगे, so they'll be like कि Superwoman की बात हो रही है. That's why in my PPT when I was talking, I was including the gentlemen out here also, because at times when we talk of Superwoman, it is the Superman syndrome also.
मैम सबसे बड़ी बात क्या है ना कि आपने जो प्रेजेंटेशन का जो पहला पोस्टर का जो पिक था एक महिलाओं का जो सारा चीज था पहले तो उसमें ही सारा चीज फिगर सब कुछ बता दिया. दूसरा जो आपने लाया मतलब प्रेजेंटेशन उसमें सारी महिलाएं जो महिलाएं की हैं अपने देश के हित में कार्य की हैं जो फ्रीडम फाइटर हैं उनके आपने जो लाकर दिखाया वो सारे जवाब हैं ये सारे जवाब हैं.
सर ये PPT जो मैंने यहाँ पे बनाया है ये कहीं इंटरनेट पे आपको नहीं मिलेगा. ये मेरी खुद की 24 घंटे की मेरी मेहनत है, जहां मैंने एक एक पिक्चर, एक एक कंटेंट ढूंढ के, रेलेवेंट स्लाइड्स, पिक्चर बहुत बार वर्ड से ज्यादा पिक्चर्स बोल देती है, तो वो मैंने
बस एक चीज जो आधा अधूरा बात था ना, वो सर ने पूरा कर दिए। विलास सर ने भी बातें रखी है अपनी, विलास सर भी जो बताए वो बहुत इफेक्ट बात, ये जो बात बताए ना स्वामित्व वाला, ये मेरा मतलब ये फ्रेंडली इक्वल होना चाहिए।
सोनू कुमार ने बताया वो पिक्चर जरा बताओ ना, आई लेट ज्वाइन टुडे एक्चुअली।
ओके सर, मेरा पीपीटी एक्चुअली आपने लेट ज्वाइन किया तो शुरू में, आई जस्ट क्लियर द पीपीटी अगेन।
Yes. Please. I will take the screen photo.
ओके सर, 17 स्लाइड्स हैं इसमें। एक
अदिति मैडम, मैं आपसे एक चीज, जो चीज आपके पास जो सबसे बड़ी वेल्थ है, दौलत बोलिए, वित्त बोलिए, the smiling. Every woman, every man should learn to smile, which brings all the happiness in the life.
if unable
ये
to
बड़ी दौलत है, भगवान की कृपा और दौलत से आदमी ये कोई सब कुछ रहने के बाद भी लोग रोते रहते हैं, बड़ा खराब है। that should be avoided.
if
सर,
unable
एक सिंपल सी बात है, जो दो बातें जो मैं हमेशा सोचती हूँ, पहली बात, लोग क्या सोचेंगे, ये भी हम ही सोचेंगे तो लोग क्या सोचेंगे।
जी बिल्कुल सही, हमें सोचना चाहिए।
लोगों का तो काम है कहना।
राइट। और दूसरी बात जो हमेशा मैं सोचती हूँ कि अगर आप किसी चीज को सुधार सकते हैं, बदल सकते हैं, तो चिंता किस बात की, और अगर सुधार नहीं सकते तो चिंता करके फायदा क्या है। तो इसलिए हंसो
हंसो और हंसाते रहो।
Absolutely. मैं पीपीटी शेयर करती हूँ, जो सर दोबारा देखना चाह रहे हैं, एक मिनट।
अगर शेयर करने में प्रॉब्लम है तो कौन सी स्लाइड सर को ना मालूम नहीं, आप मुझे शेयर कर दीजिए, मैं सर को पर्सनली व्हाट्सएप पे भेजूंगा।
ओके सर, एक तो ये स्लाइड थी,
चलेगा सर, चलेगा।
I have already shared. Can you see that? ये दिख रहा है सर स्क्रीन पे?
नहीं
नहीं है।
Okay.
भेजने वाले हैं सर।
मैं भेजता, पूरी पीपीटी भेजता सर को मैं, कोई बात नहीं, व्हाट्सएप पे।
Okay.
मैडम आपका क्या है, व्हाट इज द बैकग्राउंड ऑफ योर्स?
Sir, actually, I have 16 years of experience. I am an assistant professor. अभी मैं एक assistant professor हूँ ग्राफिक एरा हिल यूनिवर्सिटी में। मैंने बॉम्बे में ICICI ग्रुप्स में काम किया है। मैं 6 सिग्मा सर्टिफाइड प्रोफेशनल, तो क्वालिटी ऑडिट्स करती थी मैं। तो बॉम्बे में ICICI रिलायंस में काम किया है, उषा इंटरनेशनल में काम किया है। और बेसिकली आई एम अ पब्लिक स्पीकिंग फैसिलिटेटर। मैं लोगों को पब्लिक स्पीकिंग सिखाती हूँ, सॉफ्ट स्किल्स, लाइफ स्किल्स, इन सब के बारे में बात करती हूँ। आई एम अ विकी काउंसिल मेंबर और आई हैव won 4 awards in my life.
अभी हम क्या डील कर रहे हैं, व्हाट इज द सब्जेक्ट यू डीलिंग विद?
Sir, I am actually मेरा जो core interest area है is more to do with psychology, but I am a professor that is into soft skills and personality development.
वो बिल्कुल obviously दिख रहा है, the way you are handling the people with a great deal of patience, and also the way you are really making people to listen to, attracting people and listen to your words. That is a great art. Thank you so much, ma'am.
And I am teaching students of US, UK, Middle East also. Online की यही ब्यूटी है। तो ऑनलाइन में ही ये स्टार्ट हुआ कि हम सिर्फ एक जगह तक सीमित नहीं रह गए, अब हम हर जगह पहुंच सकते हैं ऑनलाइन मोड से। एजुकेशन कंबाइंड विद टेक्नोलॉजी।
मैम एक बात बताऊं, ये आज के डेट में सभी लोग हर जगह पहुंचे हुए हैं, बतरते ये लोगों को पता होना चाहिए कि आज हमारे पास मोबाइल है, तो हम मोबाइल के माध्यम से हम कहाँ हैं, हमारे पास सारा चीज अवेलेबल है।
सोनू जी, मुझे बेसिकली या तो उस फील्ड में लगता है, लीगल फील्ड में या नेता की कुछ फील्ड में कुछ ऐसा
नहीं, मैं पटना से हूँ, मैं पटना बिहार से जर्नलिस्ट हूँ, हिंदी पत्रकारिता संचार में विषय। आप बहुत से बच्चों का भी, जैसे कई जगह सेशन जब होता है तो कुछ लोग डरते हैं सवाल करने, ऐसा भी होता है, बट ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए। आप सवाल कीजिए, जब सवाल होंगे गलत सही तो अपने जगह पे, लोग क्या सोचेंगे अपने जगह, मगर जब जो सवाल है वो सवाल कीजिए।
तो आपका सवाल कुमार साहब,
please share the PPT में। I have chat में बता रही है email ID में।
Take up a topic on life skills. Same thing we transform this. I am professor at the Central University in Hyderabad, and of course, management. Of course, I love to be public speaking and soft skill. I do three, but not as you are professional, not professional. But
बद्रुद्दीन सर
जी sir, फरमाइए.
वो बेटकर साहब से नंबर मैं आपका लेता हूँ. सो मैं हैदराबाद आना हूँ 8 दिन के बाद आ रहा हूँ आपको मिलने के लिए.
Most
Sir, we can connect with all the people. आप लोग सब, I would like to share your LinkedIn profile. सबसे connect करके हम लोग आगे भी LinkedIn पे connected रह सकते हैं. बेहतर से एक माध्यम है हमारे लिए इतने knowledgeable लोगों को सबको same platform पे लाने का.
जी 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 मैडम जी.
जी. नहीं, बहुत अच्छा है बेटकर साहब का तो रोल हम, but we do not have what to explain his role for last 2 years.
इतने इंटेलेक्चुअल लोगों से हमारी मुलाकात होती है. सोनू जी, विलास सर, अहमद सर और बाकी और भी जेंटलमैन एंड लेडीज आउट हियर, अनीता मैम.
Today, yesterday also we had lecture like you, but today lecture is quite contrary to the yesterday's lecture.
Yes, I had attended yesterday's lecture also.
Found a complete reverse of what yesterday. Of course, it was not bad, but it was relevant also. But today is much more relevant than yesterday's. What I feel.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Please share the madam PPT's chat box mail ID.
Right. I will share to Bedkar sir, so then, or it will be there on even the link that is there on YouTube. I think the PPT would be there when I showcase.
Okay.
Thank you.
Right. And the feedback link, I think it's already shared by Bedkar sir. So any more questions? Any questions in the chat box? Okay. So anybody would like to say anything? Bedkar sir, over to you.
Just to wait, someone I will ask, otherwise I will conclude last. Huh? Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Is there anybody else who wants to discuss or ask any question or any doubt? Please.
Also, madam has made everybody satisfied with her explanation.
एक बेटकर सर एक एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप डेव्हलपमेंट प्रोग्रामच्या संदर्भात बी एखाद्या वुमेनचं तुम्ही अरेंज करावं असा इच्छा आहे आमची.
बरं सर निश्चित. ओके सर, बिल्कुल करेंगे, क्यों नहीं.
पुरे aspect, all the aspects should be covered in this year.
Yes sir.
W20.
Okay.
This is W20, empowerment for women.
Yes.
Yes, empowerment women. 21, 23.
The keynote speech by the honorable speaker was very descriptive, illustrative. It was interactive also. The whole of the audience of this national webinar must have understood it. So after this wonderful keynote speech, I would like to invite the chairperson of this national webinar, Honorable Dr. M.M. Bedkar sir, for his concluding words. Please sir, welcome.
Thank you, Professor Karar sir. Today's resource person, Aditi Singhal madam, who is assistant professor in Graphic Shira, Hill University, Dehradun. Organizing committee members, Dhole madam, Jamuntrao Kadam sir, all the participants, those who are joined from my college, and all other who are daily joining, like Badruddin Ahmed sir, Mr. Sharana Basappa sir, all the participants, Vishavila Shipper sir. So all the participants and the resource persons of this webinar series, those who are joining here daily. As we are concluding the webinar series on Sunday, before that when I was announced regarding the celebration of Women's International Women's Day. So the resource persons, those who accepted and our invitation and joined here for delivering their topic. So every woman or resource person on this dais is capable to give the due recognition to the subject, because Women's Day should be celebrated with all aspects of that day. So today's topic of overcoming superwoman syndrome was different from all the topics and discussed also well from all the participants. the efforts of preparing PPT and the collecting of knowledge and the proper bullet form and all these things are very appropriate for today. Especially this fulfills our aim of celebrating the International Women's Day. So thank you, madam, for doing this hard work for us and expressing this knowledge with your PPT, and also accepting all the requests those who are on LinkedIn for your seeing the PPT. In future also, as our participants have said, to invite to you and other resource persons also. So we will again invite you. This thing the second time you have presented here on this dais. So it's very nice that all resource persons are like our family members. When I announce something, they come ahead and do cooperation. Because of this, all the group which is available here today is waiting for 4 to 6 months. When should we join someone series or some selection program? So this was the event we have celebrating from 7 to up to 20. Thank you, madam, and also inviting you in future also with various topics. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It was really wonderful to listen to all the people out here. A wonderful, fruitful discussion. Thank you so much.
Now I am here for a vote of thanks. First of all, I would like to thank Honorable Speaker and Keynote Speaker Aditi Singhal ma'am, who has accepted the invitation of our college and graced us with enlightening lecture on the topic Overcoming Superwoman Syndrome. And the keynote speech was very influencing and we enjoyed it. And there were a lot of important things which we should have and implement in our lives. So on behalf of the organizing committee of webinar series, I thank you, ma'am, for sparing your precious time. Thank you. I also thank the chairperson of this webinar series and the chief organizer, Honorable Principal Dr. M. Bedkar sir, who continuously works hard to run this webinar series, and all people have been brought together only because of his efforts on this virtual dais. So I thank you, sir. I also thank the active participants audience who take part in the discussion and attend the webinar punctually and make it very fruitful and meaningful. So I thank all the participants. I also thank Dr. Anita Dhole ma'am, who every day introduces a chief guest and keynote speaker, as it has been done today in a very nice manner by the Honorable Dr. Dhole ma'am. And I also thank the whole of organizing committee. And finally, I request everybody to fill feedback link so that you can have your certificate. Thank you, everybody, and we shall meet tomorrow. Thanks.
Thank you, ma'am.
खूप छान काम झालं बेडकर सर.
Thank you so much.
बेडकर सर,
जी बोलिए सर.
नमस्कार.
नमस्कार.
आता आपले कराड सर, इतर मंडळी, तुम्ही आता
यस मैम. यस
आपका जो वर्ल्ड रिकॉर्ड हुआ है
जी,
तो थोड़ा सा उनको हेल्प करने के लिए हम थोड़ा सजेस्ट करें क्या?
जी कीजिए सर.